Thank you for checking out this little teaser of the history of the papacy and church. Here's a little taste of what's coming up soon on the History of the Papacy podcast.
During that time, they say, hey, let's introduce him to this lady, this widow, Edith Wilson. And they kind of set them up and bring her to the White House, and he's absolutely smitten. So there's the romance side of it. But at the same time, it's great because these are complicated figures. Woodrow Wilson, as we know, was once a respected president, and some historians still respect him today, but he was a person who was basically a neo-Confederate and did all sorts of horrible things that he segregated the federal government. And his era, his presidency, even though it's considered a progressive presidency, it ended up really becoming regressive in terms of racial progress in the United States. And so he's this complicated figure. Edith falls in love, or he falls in love with Edith, proposes to her. She says no, but he's persistent. And the fact that she says no showed that she wasn't like power-hungry woman trying to get power. But eventually they do get married. And then he suffers a stroke. And he suffers a stroke as he's trying to convince the American people to support his League of Nations, which is his plan to not just end World War I officially, but to prevent all future wars from ever happening. So he's got this major messiah complex, and he has a stroke. And now Edith Wilson is afraid that if her husband gets too stressed out as president, that he's going to die. So she takes up a lot of his work.